Okay, hello. This is part 2 of the Heart's Awakening journey. Can't remember what I called the video I just posted, but the stages of the Heart Awakening has a part 2, and it really profoundly hit me after I turned off the camera, and I was like, oh yeah, we have to do this part. And that is how the heart goes through the stages. What is the catalyst? What are the initiatory gates, if you will, that allows one to evolve through the heart opening, the heart awakening, to become the full jeweled heart of the lotus, the bearer of cosmic love, enlightened love, the kind of love that changes a person and flows from eternities to eternities through you, that kind of vessel. So heartbreak, the main thing that opens the heart gates is the breaking of them. So this is a destructive element that is painful, y'all. We all know heartbreak. I don't think there's a one of you watching this that hasn't experienced deep heartbreak at some point in your life. And these are the moments that the heart has the opportunity to break open and become larger. With every initiation, there are potential pitfalls and challenges, and in this heartbreak that happens again and again through our lives, because we are human, because we are growing, expanding, and have experiences that require it of us, at least through the parts we've been going through. And we'll get to the evolutionary love later, but moving from this, as I talked in the last video, Tamasic heart, and a lot of us never experienced that level of closed-heartedness in this life, because in my belief and perspective and the yogic perspective, we've been cycling and we've been working out karmas over lifetimes, over cycles, where we get to experience the full extent that the human heart can experience. Maybe some of us don't like to think that we would ever have such a closed heart and come from a place of such self-importance and caring only for the pleasures and manipulations of one's own heart. But I think it sort of makes sense that at some point, if you think there was a part of maturation in the mother's womb that you can't remember, there's also a part of our heart maturation journey that, we don't remember. We don't need to remember. We can just trust that in getting here, I must have gone through all the stages of development. And some of it is in the deep, dark recesses of the subconscious, and rightfully so. There are also the whisperings of the growth cycle of the embryo in the dark. We're not going to shine our light in there and watch every bit. And when we do, sometimes we're like, it's an alien. It's not human. It doesn't look like us at all. And so the heart goes through this journey, and perhaps in some lifetimes we embody that darkest, closest, most tamasic. Inertia is another word for tamasic development of the heart, which just means in embryo, we weren't really coming forth and being cosmic love yet. We were in an embryonic state. We were in a tamasic state. So I also wanted to refine that definition, that it's also just the place where the heart isn't. It's just maybe the beating of the heart for life's sake. So in the journey of the evolution of the heartbreak moments are also like dams breaking. And one of the early dams breaking for us is actually the release from the mother's womb. The breaking of the placenta and that flushing out, where the heart is no longer in that dark inertia, now is beating faster, and it's having shock, and it's completely different environment, and there's sounds and there's nervous system impulses that are making the heart have to completely fend for itself, right, in this infant stage. And so in that process, the dam breaking, or the initiatory step, is the birth. And it's one reason that we maybe don't realize we celebrate the birthing of a child, is because now their heartbeat is no longer on the inside of somewhere unreachable, the other side of somewhere unreachable. Now it is reachable and tangible and new, like a new expression of the divine just entered, a new part of love showed up, so it also initiates those around when someone's going through a heartbreak or a transformation or an initiative moment in life. So when we experience heartbreak as a more mature person, heartbreak as a child is very different than adult heartbreak, right? We might get our hearts broken because one of our toys broke, or somebody did our pigtail the wrong way. Like, that could be heartbreaking. Any little thing for a child, and we sometimes think, oh, that's so funny as an adult, but for a child, these are growth moments. And they always say that generally the little girls are more emotional than the boys, though I have an emotional boy, and his heart is right on the outside. So we experience these tender moments where the innocence of what we came from, the cosmic love, is trying to merge here with this physical environment, this tangible world of opposition, right? And we come in contact with these things that break our heart. They just aren't what we thought they should be. They just didn't show up and make me happy, They just didn't push all the buttons. Something went wrong, something is broken, something is unfixable, right? Something left forever, like when I was 14, I'd grown up my whole life in one little small town, and it was the sweetest small town, and it had like all the people I knew, and lots of friends, and green area and forest, and just super idealistic. I think I was in heaven. And then when I was 14, my dad got a different job, and look, it still makes me emotional because this is one of my first that I can remember heartbreak moments. We had to move. We moved from boring Oregon, I know it sounds drab, but it was rather perfect, to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm only now just turning 50, falling in love with Salt Lake City. And my journey with that heartbreak and that evolution of my heart, just one evolution of my heart. Our heart goes through many evolutions. Took from 14 to 50. For me to go from, a very tamasic, and this is a good example, state with my heart at the initial onset of heartbreak, and the news, and the not wanting, and the shatteredness, and the losing everything, and the inertia, right? Don't talk to me. I hate everything. The first stage. Some people live their whole lives in that tamasic stage. And there are things that try to bring you in, friends that started to try to be made, but I would keep them at a distance a bit, because I had the friends, I knew the friendship, like I was afraid of having the friends again and having the friends taken away. Like, this is the journey of heartbreak. But the universe just kept bringing me to Utah. I went as far as I could as a child, and I moved away, and then I came back. And I moved away and I came back. So some heartbreak things we revisit at a new level and try to get a different perspective on them. Maybe it's the same person that you go back to, or a person like the same person you always date, or maybe it's the same kind of job, or maybe it's the same behaviors at home or to yourself, or weight loss or diets, or whatever it is that's a pattern of heartbreak for you. And we often revisit. I had physically to revisit Salt Lake City, and actually lived in Portland again for a while, near Boring, and I just kept coming from Portland to Salt Lake City. It was almost like I was on a glitch. And I created some heartache moment to do that in a relationship, or with money, or having a child. Something brought me back to the original wound, interestingly. So the awakening of the heart is not, it's one theme. It's feeling at home in yourself, feeling at home with life and the cosmic love. So what do we need to get back to that place of innocence and cosmic love? These heartbreaks. They move us if we allow them to. We can choose to resist them and to make our hearts harder and to put up more walls and to become more bitter and cynical through our life. We can choose that. We can harden the heart, for sure. That seems de-evolutionary, right? At some point, we gotta get in there and be like, okay, I'm ready to look at this. Sometimes we do this just to protect ourselves. We're not ready to manage the feeling, the pain maybe that it is when the heartbreak happens, when the opening tries to occur. And through many of these initiations, if we don't fully experience them and go to the next level, complete the initiation, get the new state of consciousness, access from tamasic to tamasic, rajasic, like I said in the last video, or rajasic, tamasic, and then rajasic. These are the levels in the Sanskrit terms, but you can see where I'm going there. Just, you could say level 1, level 2, level 3, and the most open is the highest level, cosmic love. These levels may have increments because we may revisit them so much and dice them up into smaller, more edible pieces for us, right? I think a reason why that heartbreak for me took so much of my life to recover from is it was gigantic, like an atomic bomb of heartbreak. I guess I decided to just come and break my heart right away. And some of us do that, and then we work on all the ways to recover it. And so my experiences of loss along the way, initiations in the incremental journey back to myself from that one heartbreak, So, yeah, this is another peek into the journey of the awakening. And, we could do this for all the centers, but our life really does kind of revolve around our heart. Like, the love piece is massive. And, one can go through all the evolutionary steps of opening the chakras and doing the technique of raising the energy and all of this, but without the heart of love. Without the heart of love, we're reaching heartless immortality, which is a thing, I'll just say. Immortality without the heart is not eternal life. It's not what my teacher would call incorruptibility. It has a limit also because it is divorced from its totality. Longevity is love. Like, love is a frequency. It's a frequency. And it's merging with the infinite. It's that space. So immortality practices increase the longevity of the physical body. And that can come in a lot of forms. But love infuses our cells and makes them impenetrable. And then learning how to move the energy is, a natural byproduct of self-sustaining, is learning the new system, the spiritual system that exists superimposed on top of our physical. The love infuses it. The love sustains it. The love is the Vishnu element in the cosmic trinity in Sanskrit, which is the preserving element. Sustains it and keeps it vibrant. I'll have to do another video about the vibrancy, but this brings me to the ojas. Like, the ojas is necessary part of the trifecta of the vitality of your life. And Kundalini, life force, is an element of that infuses the other two. But one is ojas. We'll go into this in another video. That's like your juiciness. It is like your sexual energy. your reproductive sustenance that like sustains your life. It's a virility. And then tejas, which is the intellectual and courageous faculty. So together with your life force is the sustaining element, right? So as we open up to that in our hearts, as we access love, we are increasing physical vitality in the way this consciousness expresses. And we're getting really deep here. So I will close it off there, but that's part 2. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions about that. I love when you write feedback in the comments. And if this was helpful, please share. And I love you so much. I'll talk to you again. Namaste.